People, it is time for the drop. Welcome aboard. We are at Cactus Music World headquarters, and it is time for another exciting episode filled with new music, and you have the list.
I got the list, and you know it's filled with great ones because it's that time of year. We're like jumping into fall, and that's when people wait for the doldrums of summer to end, and they start releasing records, and that's what we got for you. Here, we're going to kick it off. Let's talk about a big one as it relates to Houston, Texas. The sophomore effort from Keshi, Requiem, is out, and if you don't know him, he was worked in the med center, was oncology nurse or doctor there, working there, and posting music on the side, and blew up. He had I think BTS reposted his stuff. He had like millions of streams. Launched his career. He's from Houston, Texas. We love him.
There was a listening party, right, or in store.
He's going to be here on Saturday, but guess what? It is sold out.
Jeez,
we are capped out at the amount of people that
Isn't that crazy?
We can meet in the time that he's here. But if you go to Cactus Music, our online store, cactusmusictx.com, you can pre-order a signed copy. But unfortunately, we're maxed out with people you can meet. It's just, I love it when local artists,
me too,
like break through enter Houston.
Me too.
And he's going to be playing stadiums. The new music sounds great.
I love that. It does sound great.
It's,
I think just one track. I was on iTunes and it was just one track released so far.
Soul
It's really good. It's really good. Yep.
Okay, next up, I know a guy we both love, David Gilmour's album Luck and Strange, and I will tell you. For these artists that are getting up there, something like this shows up, you just got to be grateful for whatever it is. But it's way better that it's really phenomenal.
It's phenomenal. It is phenomenal, and of course, it's if he sings something or plays a little lead part, a little solo part, it's going to evoke Pink Floyd, of course.
The tone is just like, and it's so his tone is so organic, and that's what's the thing about Floyd. It's always been like. It's futuristic, analog keyboards, but then you have like this super organic guitar tone behind it. It's blues based.
Yeah,
it shouldn't work, but it works.
It totally works.
And
title track's great. Piper's Call's great. I mean, it's exactly what you want from David Gilmour.
It is exactly what you want.
And I don't even know how old David Gilmour is right now, but usually an artist, The Wall was what, 1980?
Yeah.
44 years ago.
I think he's 81. I could be wrong. Should have done a little drop research on that. But
you need this in your collection.
Yeah,
I'm just telling you.
It's
that good.
Wonderful that it even exists. And
Absolutely.
It's way better than it has to be.
100%. 100%.
Kind of cut from the same cloth. His buddy from his fellow progger from Yes, the singer John Anderson. He has a new album with his band, the Band Geeks. He did a tour with these guys. He really liked how they performed on the Yes material, and he decided they went straight off the road and made a record, and it's really pretty terrific. It's again one of those things you don't really. It's like, okay, it's gonna, because a lot of his solo records are not very Yes-like.
Yeah.
This is very Yes.
I love in the email I got from Quin last night. It said very Yesy.
It is very Yesy, but I think fans really dig it, and his voice is in phenomenal shape for, again, late 70s, 80s. We're going to have enough respect.
He turned up on a track on an album that Tom Bukovac did with Dan DeLeo of the Stone Temple Pilots.
Oh, I didn't know.
I think most of it was instrumental except for the one track he did. And his voice just, and that was a couple of years ago. It just sounded great. It sounded beautiful.
He sings two notes, you know
exactly who it is.
And now for something very different, but kind of not. This is the new Rex Orange County's. It even says Rex Orange County's new album, The Alexander Technique. And it's basically a file folder. It looks like there's his file. I thought this was really cool. It's his fifth album. It's self-produced. It's very musical in that there's elements of classical music in there, and obviously the Beatles and things like that creeping in there where you don't expect it. Very musical. Very. I thought it was kind of terrific. The musical or the lyrical content's very confessional.
Yep.
I really haven't done my homework to know what's up with that guy, but some serious stuff's been going on.
I like this better than the last album. I gave it a quick run through. I love the fact that you're just going to get this kind of almost folky singer-songwriter vibe on one song, and then there's an indie pop track that hits you.
Yeah, it's very
that hits you. Yeah. But he very well executed it, and it's good stuff. If you're looking for somebody that's maybe not your usual cup of tea to listen to.
Yeah, I think he's got.
I would recommend.
Appeal, and I think one of the reasons this record sounds the way it does, you got James Blake helping
Yes,
out and assisting.
doesn't hurt.
Does
not hurt.
Okay, let's talk about Megan Thee Stallions. This record dropped digitally a few months ago, but the CD's finally out. It's their third album. Features a UGK reunion on there. They're calling it UGK Reunion. I mean, she's just. There's these recording artists that are bigger than life that are just pop culture stars, not just pop stars.
And
she's certainly one of
She's
them.
very close to the top of that list.
But I think people really dig it. All the reviews.
Oh
were
yeah,
super
no,
popular
100%.
upon release, and you know they it's not going to be a bomb. Like I feel like when you get to that level, there's enough people starting to make sure it's on it.
That's put your money on this one. It's a winner.
But finally out in physical goods, sometimes we have to wait a little bit with rap, hip hop, and R&B folks.
So 2 big records, 2 big Houston artists. Well, one bigger than the other.
yeah, totally.
I like the Houston thing that's happening today. We'll see where it goes.
Well, we're gonna head over to New Orleans. We got a few very cool New Orleans records, and this band, the Deslons, their brand new record, "Roll It Out," is out. And these guys are one of the and they're always in New Orleans. They don't travel a lot. You can see them. They are soulful Americana. It's kind of country and western influenced. All 5 band members sing and contribute songs. It really reminds me of the band. If you're a fan of the band, music from Big Pink, there's a lot of that going on.
Definitely.
They're a very cool band. I would urge you, if that's kind of your north, check them out because you will dig them.
Yeah, country, but they also kind of dip into Americana. You know, I mean, yeah.
Having the different vocalists from track to track, I think, is cool.
Yeah, and this is the first one that I've heard from them. Yeah, I'm not familiar with them up until, I was kind of like going over the songs last night. And I like it.
So we got our rootsy country New Orleans.
There you go, rootsy country.
And then we got our Saturday night party with Rockin' Dopsy Jr. and the Zydeco Twisters. This is one of the, and he comes to Houston somewhat regularly.
Oh.
This is Saturday night music. This is, I guess, could be Friday night music, could be Thursday night music, but
if
this
you're in
is
a good mood,
of a party. Yeah,
if you're in a good mood after sundown, this is your record.
And he's one of New Orleans' finest live entertainers right now. And you got to check out this record. It's indie store exclusive purple vinyl. Even recently, he contributed with Tina Turner and Beyonce and Paul Simon. I mean, he's...
Well, dude, when you've been around this long, you're going to end up playing with a whole bunch of people.
And another one of those guys that's so heritage-oriented that you can keep, he's following his father, Rockin' Dopsy Sr.'s footprints, and it's a family business.
I love it.
And he's doing it right.
I love it.
He's doing it right. Brand new record from Denzel Curry. This is KOTMS 2.
What'd you think?
Which is King of the Mischievous South, Volume 2. It's rooted in a lot of Southern hip-hop.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
It really is. You can hear it.
If that's your style of music, get this.
Yeah, it's cool. And it's cool that
it starts off with a banger right out of the gate.
I feel like a lot of the hip hop records, there's a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit. It's not consistent or conceptual with regards to sound, and this is. So you got indie store exclusive purple vinyl. Very cool.
Violet, neon violet, is what they're calling it.
So it's his ode to Southern hip hop, which we all love. That's what's
100%.
Our backyard. And he's singing from this persona, this big ultra, which is kind of.
Yeah, the title track is like a WWE walk-up song.
Yeah,
it's just this big. Yeah.
It definitely is.
Yeah, good stuff.
Now for something completely different, the new Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds record.
Dude, you could not have taken the harder left turn.
Yeah, right. There's not one. This is unlimited edition clear vinyl. This is his brand new record. What you need to know about this is his 18th album. It's being called a masterpiece. He had a personal loss before, 3 albums ago, and those 3 albums since then are really kind of like a song cycle. You can hear him working through it, and this is him kind of coming out the other side. It's beautiful. If you're a fan at all, or maybe he makes a lot of records, so if you haven't heard one in a while, might be time to revisit. Wild God is the record, and I think he's ready to close this chapter and move on to something else.
But I mean, it's Nick Cave. It's
Nick
that
Cave.
gothy, theatrical,
it is.
William S. Burroughs meets, Bauhaus. I don't know.
I would love to see a tour date for him. He hasn't played Houston since Lollapalooza, and
Oh yeah. I saw an interview with him. I can't remember how long ago, but he was talking about. I don't think like touring is his favorite thing.
It is not. I mean, you got to be cut from a different slice.
Agreed. Agreed.
All right, we're going to close out the new releases. Brand new album from LL Cool J. It's been well over a decade. This is the record, The Force, I think that very conscious when an artist comes back after that long to make a new record. The cool thing is Q-Tip produced the whole thing top to bottom. So really, I think it's solid work. Solid work. You have to check it out. See what you think.
On Def Jam.
Yeah, of course.
I love it.
Of course.
It's a cool cover.
You want to talk about some archival
I didn't get to
recordings?
this one yet. Yeah, let's talk about the archival. I'm excited about this one.
So, and what we call archival recordings are old recordings, not a reissue. That would mean that it's available again. These are recordings that have never been available, and you usually sit with heritage artists that are getting up there in age, and what they're going through their archives and their vaults, and this is what they come up with. The first one, this is an ongoing series. This is Neil Young's Archives. This is Volume 3. You ready for this? You better make an appointment for this. 17 CDs.
Jeez.
17 CDs of all 198 tracks, all unreleased music, 36-page booklet.
And it's the third one in the series.
It's the third one in the series. And then what he does, this is like a taster. You might get 3 songs from some show, and then he'll issue the whole show later. But fans love these things. I think it's super cool. It's something for, and obviously there's not a vinyl component because it would be, 70 LPs.
Look at that thing.
So it's a chunky thing to sit on your shelf, but fans love it, and it's very rewarding if you are a fan. And he's had some difficulty too. He canceled his whole tour.
It's another guy, man, getting up there.
I read this thing. They were saying that regardless of which genre you like, all of the artists from the early to mid '70s that you love, there will be none of them touring in the next 5 years.
That's crazy.
It's over.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's sad
nuts.
stuff. See them while you can, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the next one. This is more modern. U2 has done a great job of releasing record store day pieces, unique pieces, available at indie record stores, and just really kind of coming through their vaults. Now, this is something I did not know. So this is a live recording. This is U2 ZTV Live in Dublin, 1993. This is a limited edition, 5 tracks, unreleased. I thought that there had been a live album from this tour, and there wasn't. They were kind of in a groove where they would do a huge tour, worldwide tour lasting like 2 years, and then they do a live album. They did not do one for this, but obviously it was teed up. And so you get maybe there'll be more of it later. But this was a very much bootlegged performance.
And this is kind of crazy. There's only 5 songs on here.
5 songs on there.
But one of my favorite U2 tracks. Stay Far Away, So Close. Love it. That video was killer too.
And on yellow vinyl.
That's
might
amazing.
come back as black vinyl somewhat
that.
later. But again, 2 sets we got here of music that if you're a fan, you've never heard it.
Yeah.
And you can go grab it, and there you go.
Yeah. And my once my dear friend Jeff Davis catches wind of this, he will be coming to procure a copy.
You might already know.
He is a massive U2 fan.
So we've talked a little bit about. So Rhino has this great program. They're reissuing original albums, but they've been doing this thing, this Now Playing series, which is essentially like a greatest hits. And they've really done well with a lot of the soul and R&B stuff, releasing multiple titles. But now they're kind of starting to dig into some other stuff, and these are artists that have not been represented on as far as greatest hits type vinyl. And you got John Prine of the Texas Tornadoes.
Look at that.
All hits or all songs, if they're not hits, are songs that you would
know.
You would know.
100%.
And a picture of a very young, handsome John Prine.
Look at him, so young.
That's kind of a good sleeve face for you there. There you are.
Back in the day, yeah.
And of course, Freddie Fender, Doug Somm, Augie Myers.
The classic Flaco Jimenez.
Flaco Jimenez.
You talk about a party record.
Oh, and they were a party live. This is good Saturday night music.
So here's my question. You're in the record business. You know a few things. Who names the colors of vinyl? This is cobalt transparent.
It is not me. Let me tell you. This is ruby red.
Jeez. It's a grapefruit, isn't it?
It certainly is.
Jeez.
It certainly is. Okay, so let's talk about some jazz records. We haven't talked about jazz
Look
records.
at that hair, though. Freddie Fender, man.
Freddie had some hair.
Jeez.
Yeah.
What it? Love him, though.
That's some coiffed.
That is manicured.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
So we haven't talked about jazz records in a couple weeks. So
Let's do it. Let's do it.
With some cool reissues. We're going to talk about Blue Note's Tone Poet series. And those
Let everyone know what the Tone Poet series is.
So those are records, and occasionally they're classics, but generally I think they are consciously picking records that it may not have been commercially huge,
but are significant. Yeah, absolutely
huge.
significant for the genre.
Let's talk about those. You got the great vibraphonist Bobby Hutcherson.
Yes, sir.
This is his album Medina. This is such a cool cover. That's Blue Note had a couple of photographers that I mean they're really
those images are just burned in your mind.
They're just phenomenal.
Yeah.
And so this is kind of an all over the place record, but I like it because it's all really fast. Some of the vibraphone records tend to be really we all associate that with a very loungy tone,
sure.
Right? This is really kind of an upbeat record, and I think that's what makes it cool. You have Howard Land on tenor saxophone, and it's you got instrumentation's bass, piano, drums.
Yeah, Stanley Cowell, Reggie Johnson,
it's cool,
Joe Chambers on
it's
drums.
It's a cool record, and of course all these. Jazz is about poking around and seeing what speaks to you. So what you want to do is just listen to a bunch of different stuff, and you'll know it when you hear it or see it here. When you find it, you'll know it.
I always love the Blue Note liners too. Like they're just incredible.
The whole back of the
yeah.
record,
So here from Richard Seidel, Medina as an album represents a pure jazz aesthetic that typified much of the '60s best music.
Well, there you
I will
go.
agree with that.
And so that was from '69. The thing about this Bobby record, Blue Note ran the tape so much. This record did not come out until 1980. It was prepped for release, but then he went off and did something else. So it's amazing that it holds together that well for a record in that circumstance. This one's from '62, and it's Jackie McLean. Let's let freedom ring. You got Herbie Lewis, Billy Higgins, Walter Davis on this record. The thing I like about this is it's a family affair record for sure. It's got songs, Melanie named for his daughter, Renee named for his son, and Omega named for his wife.
I love it.
Just 4 tracks, and the only other track is I'll Keep Loving You. So really kind of a conceptual record from Jackie. Of course, he's one of the great Blue Note players from '62, and this is where hard bop meets avant-garde a little bit. So it's a cool one.
All right, very cool, very cool. Good.
And then we'll close talking about jazz reissues with Lee Morgan. This is Taru, and this is another. I mean, such a great. It's hard to see because it's in this plastic, but super cool, classic Blue Note looking record from '68. It's kind of a mixed bag, but you get. I think this record's notable because George Benson's on it, and playing great guitar. And if you're a fan of classic Blue Note records, not just Blue Note records, but of the genre.
And this was what, 60 what?
This is 68.
So I think this is one of the earliest records that we've talked about on the show featuring George Benson.
Yeah.
That's pretty
and
cool.
And guitar always takes guitar. Jazz fans, it's a different stripe. It's not like jazz flautists by
any means. Yeah, no.
But the guitar often gets sidelined, and I think that's what makes this record cool. Trumpet, piano, and guitar kind of leading the charge, and again, kind of an ode to several different types of music that was converging at once there. The Tone Poet series, if you don't know this, they all have tip-on jackets, like heavy construction cardboard jackets where they paste the cover over it, and they're on heavyweight vinyl. And these recordings, the great Kevin Gray, who's the busiest man in jazz, remasters all these. And generally, by and large, unless they need to for some technology thing, this music never touches a computer.
I was just about to say, so this is basically
lathed
lathed from the original masters. There's no computer involved at any point when they're putting this together.
And you think, they're audiophile records, and you will often see me working over by the Jazz Center,
yes,
just because that's where I end up. So I engage a lot of the customers that are shopping over there. They'll be they just rave about them. There's also the Verve by Request series, which is kind of cut from the same.
Yeah,
song.
I mean, when you have them on in the store, it's great. It's amazing.
People are raving about it. Like I've been familiar with this recording for 30 years, and I'm hearing things I've never heard before.
I love that.
There you go.
I love that. Are we hitting the vinyl vault?
we're hitting the vinyl vault. And,
all right, so unfortunately we had to make a last-minute substitution because this morning, and you guys will probably be seeing this, this will be taped earlier when this actually, is available for you guys to view it. But on today, September 11th, news this morning that Frankie Beverly had passed away.
And one of the giants of soul. And I think, he had very smooth, cool style. Had a big band, great singer. I think that he's kind of an anomaly in that. So he had a lot of hits on the radio, but he's really known for his live albums because they are kind of like party records. And in the 70s too, a lot of live albums were released as kind of de facto greatest hits. Like they wouldn't put all the hits on a single album until you get the live album. So you've got Live in New Orleans.
Yeah, Mays
that's the record.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Somebody's coming looking for Mays records. That's the record right there.
Well, something I didn't know, my photographer Rodney Pearson had to educate me. Was a student at Southern University.
Sweet, I didn't
but
know
then the music kind of took front, and it was like time to do this full time and go to the big time.
And then I've got Live in Los Angeles right here. Really, a giant. And I think Frankie Beverly's one of those guys. When people talk about him, that they really know their soul music.
Right.
He's not necessarily so much of a depending on which household you're in, not so much of a household name, not as mainstream, but man, you got a kindred spirit if somebody's talking about it.
Yeah.
Really
Oh yeah, man, 100%.
And I would also somewhat describe him as permacapped. He always wore a baseball cap.
He always had some sort of.
But yeah, a loss for sure.
Yeah, man, a big loss. All right, so I think we need to touch on a couple of things. Of course, if you're in the Houston area, in store, sold out already though. But Keshi,
we can't accommodate anybody else, but you can pre-order. He's going to sign remainder stock for us off-site. And if you want an autographed copy, you can order the LP or CD from our link to it from our site.
Well, you talked about all like how fall is so, we're going to see so many new releases and a lot of cool stuff coming out. And then blink of an eye, we're in the Christmas season, and it's the big box sets and all the crazy stuff. It's going to be busy the next couple of months.
We're almost halfway through September.
Man. That's pretty darn crazy. All right, so if folks want to, not watching this in the Houston area, they want to get something online, how do they find you?
Cactus Music TX, and we have several different sales platforms. You can buy, you can purchase directly, from us with regards to new or limited edition items, a lot of indie store exclusives, but also we have thousands and thousands and thousands of limited edition, or not even limited edition, but collectible original pressings of records, CDs, memorabilia, or whatever.
The good stuff.
That you can click on there. There's crazy stuff on
there. The good stuff. So I'm going to take a second and plug my other show that you can find on Fox Local. How did I get in this room? This week's episode, we have an interview, our second interview that we've done in the past 6 or 7 months with King James Worthy, dropping a new album this Friday. So definitely look for that. Give him a follow on Instagram. I've heard some of it, and it's really good. If you love like a kind of a modern R&B voice, such a great producer, great writer, So yeah, King James Worthy, check it out. All right, that's it, baby. We're out of here. We're going to do this again next week. You available?
I'm going to be here.
Okay, great. All right, guys. Yes. Right. Yeah, I'm going to come on by. All right, guys, that is the drop. Thank you for being with us. Follow us on the socials, and have a wonderful week. We'll see you next week. Bye. We're out of here.